it's just too much. So they go for Dragonite, they go for their own push lineup, and I think they're in a great position here. They go Disruption into Dragon Tail with whatever Chen has to bring to the table. They're going to be able to screw with the Druid a little bit here and there, and once they start bringing down towers with Dragonite's ultimate, they're going to put the pressure out where Alchemist won't be able to find that farm comfortably.
This is a very delicate... This game is going to be all about timing.
Mm-hmm.
TL's push comes out before Alliance's push. Period. That's just a fact. Problem is, once Alliance's push hits, and it's not that much later, it's not like they went with a Phantom Lancer, their push is stronger. It is stronger when it comes. Because Lone Druid is very difficult to outpush. And if you think that's false, I recall to you the DreamHack Finals Game 5. Plus the Ogre Magi ramps that push up a bit. The other timing thing is the laning phase is so incredibly important for Team Liquid. If they lose the lanes pretty badly, it'll be very, very, very hard for them to pull the sort of shenanigans that they pulled with Virtus Pro, where they were able to stabilize and win. Because what VP does again and again, or what they did for both the series with Alliance and the series with Liquid, is they just go for mass kill potential, but then it's hard for them to take other map objectives following on from that kill potential. Like, they don't have the de-armor for Roche, they don't have the push for towers. Not true for Alliance. They have Roche potential with Acid Spray from Alchemist. They have push potential with Lone Druid. If they win lane phase convincingly, it's going to be tough. I mean, it'll be tough for TL.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. In that kind of position, Team Liquid haven't been having the best track record of winning out the laning phase. I think they're kind of in a position to do it with TC, since they'll be giving him plenty of independent farm. But some of that comes down to warding. Right now, Alliance is invading, going on in. They're going to go for a Fire Blast on the Korok thing. So Concoction will follow up with the Splitter, and that's going to be easy first blood. So starting it off really strong, and those Deservers Awards, I expect EGM to start blocking pulls, but actually just covering up on this top rune. I kind of felt like the jungle of Liquid was a really, really big deal for the laning phase. How do you feel about the fact that they haven't blocked it yet? I guess Ake will drop a sentry to annoy the Chen a little bit, but still.
Yeah, who says they're not blocking it? They get the incursion, they're going to block at least... This is a good camp to block, too. All they need is to block one camp, and already Nature's Prophet and Chen are going to start feeling a little bit pinched. The other thing they're doing is getting vision of the pathways through the jungle. That lets them sort of use this... Ogre Lesh is really strong at getting kills.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be dangerous for Liquid all over the map. And No Tide, Alliance, sorry, are going to try to make it even more dangerous.
Sure enough. So starting things off, we do see Emerald Bulldog up to his old tricks with the bear, moving on around here. Fluff's not going to be able to do anything about it. And a little bit of a... No, never mind. I was going to say that he might have been confusing them, saying that the bear blocked off the pull, and therefore they're not going to sentry it, but it hasn't really been a factor just yet. We're seeing the bear come on through, but a Lightning Bird actually picked up. The Harpy Stormcrafter going to do some damage here without any magic resistance. It will be just spamming out that damage pretty quickly and trying to harass down that bear. Either way, they do get one ward taken away, but the sentry's still in place. So it's a little bit of a feint here, and as such, they still will be losing a lot of jungle time on that eastern hard camp.
Right. And that's, yeah, I mean, it's a big camp. Actually, the Harpy Stormcrafter is doing a lot of work here. If they could bring down the bear, yeah, Bulldog having to re-attack. This actually might be the dead bear. He might have to resummon it, but he has 20 seconds left. Yeah. I think they got it.
Yeah, 100 gold going to Fluff, and that helps him out quite a bit here. Bulldog taking a lot of hits from the creeps as well. He wants to wait it out. He wants the creep wave to go at a different timing, but has to pop off the salve, and it looks like the Harpy will be able to cancel that too. Bulldog is with 150 HP. There is one more lightning. It won't be able to finish him off, but man, is it forcing him all the way back to base. So really, really screwing these lanes up here. He gets it. I didn't think the range was enough, but holy crap, is that stuff strong. Yeah, they got a huge, huge range on that Q-click, and yeah, the Harpy Stormcrafter able to get the first kill on the board for them. Meanwhile, there was a kill on towards Alchemist bringing down Nature's Prophet, and that just comes down to that standard disable combo. Fire Blast, Split Earth, Unstable Concoction, and bringing down Bulba, so that he's probably going to have to go to the jungle.
So I want to quickly point out, I think what happened with the Harpy Stormcrafter is it's a chain lightning. It's not a single target. He hit a creep with it and it bounced to Bulldog.
Okay. That seems reasonable. It's definitely possible. I mean, generally they bounce based on proximity, but honestly, if you clicked on the thing and hover over it, it has a huge range, so it could have just easily as easily been a Q-click. Either way, whatever play was made, it was a really, really good maneuver by Fluff and picking up a huge gold despite a little bit of a setback on his camp spawns.
And this is great. I mean, they are Liquid. What they're doing very well so far is completely taking Bulldog out of the equation a little bit. He has still magically hit level 2 just because he's Admiral Bulldog, but he's really
Well, first
feeling
blood.
pinched. Like, look how much they're pinching him.
Yeah, he's about to. He's taking a lot of pressure from the second bear, doing some good path blocks, shockwaves to come out. 400 HP left on his bear. He's going to have to look to bring that back to the fountain soon because 110 seconds without his companion is not going to let him actually do anything on this lane. So that's going to be an awkward position here. We do see Bulba moving on. He actually tried to do something on bot lane and then immediately
Fair.
thought better of it, and he does go back down to the jungle in safety there. Soul Catcher and Ix Mike right clicks, bringing a lot of damage to the Spirit Bear, but it looks like it
One
will
more
at least
Shadow
survive.
Poison. If he hits the third Shadow Poison.
Could be
I think
close.
he's got it. He can just gonna do a fourth for good luck. Oh, actually, Soul Catcher is up. I'm not sure if he'll do it anymore. He's got to hit this fourth.
Yeah, he
Okay,
got
he's
it.
got
He
it.
got it. The fourth Shadow Poison comes on out. Ix Mike finishes it off the bear a second time, and Bulldog sitting here without anything. He's up a river without a paddle. Like, honestly, he just doesn't have anything he can do here. Doing his best, but he doesn't have a stout shield. Taking up the creep wave. He's literally sitting at his tier 3 with 94 HP. And honestly, the fact that the tower is auto-attacking the wave means that's his last creep wave that he's going to see. And instead, we're going to be seeing this damage come quickly on the tier 1 tower up top. They can just burst this down pretty hardcore, fluff with the Basilius, and yeah, with the Dark Troll Summoner, that's a guaranteed tower kill.
My understanding is that what he's up is a creek rather than a river, but otherwise I agree.
Sure enough, sure enough. So Bulba back down bottom. Why do you feel he keeps on trying to contest this directly?
If he slows down the push, but the problem is if he dies again. Actually, they rotate in. This could turn out bad for Alliance. They're going to get pinched by Korok as well, but
Actually,
it's low HP.
going for Korok right here. They go in for the clap, but the stun does interrupt it for the moment. Now Korok having to fall back, but the lightning. The core here is not of any consequence, though, because they're just trying to get on out of here. Test of Faith not rolling very high, and a disruption coming on through. S4 looking for them damage. Will be able to bring down Fluff, I believe, but not before Ake takes the fall himself. So S4 finishes it off. Fluff has to go up on the high ground to finish it, but now Bulba, Ix Mike doing a lot of work to EGM, going in behind the enemy's tower, salving away, but is about to hit a creep wave, and there's that Shadow Poison. S4 cleaning up on Ix Mike, though, and now Bulba's in a pretty bad spot. The Shockwave, the right clicks are there. Korok is going to clean this up, but not before a lot of allies have fallen. There's Chen finishing off with the right clicks from the creeps. Can he get the ensnare? No, that's off the cooldown. As such, it's going to be on Korok to get this last hit on S4, and no. The Drunken Hay is not lasting long enough. Korok falls back to the mid lane. Meanwhile, Bulldog gets an opportunity to 1v1 up against TC with his Spear Bear all up in arms.
Actually, that was an enormous fight for Alliance.
Yeah.
They're now 2 levels ahead for S4. They wasted the time of so many Liquid heroes. The Chen is still level 2, so how long is it going to be until he has 3 creeps to push? And Bulldog got back into it during that time, quietly just walking up and finding his levels. That was actually a very, very bad fight for Liquid.
Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to make up for lost time with this smoke coming on through. They could actually go on Bulldog here, but they have to close the distance, and they have to have the disables. Right now, the Hellbear Smasher will be chained up after that disruption, but they have to get the disruption first. And with Mike's losing his smoke right there, just barely in range of Bulldog, it actually means that they're not going to be able to make that work. So that's a lot of time. There's the smoke, 100 gold down the drain, and they really, really need those kills if they're going to get boots on Mike or mech on Fluff.
Right, and it's also about that push timing as well. Initially, it seemed like they were just going to hurt Lone Druid so much that the push would, never come from Alliance, or it would come very, very delayed. But now Bulldog feels a little bit more comfortable. The thing is, he's hit the level at which he can basically start jungling. He would really, really like to have about 400 more XP that he has, because Entangle makes jungle actually reasonable speed for Lone Druid. Before that, his jungle is fairly terrible speed. But he's more okay with this than he was, relegating himself to jungle at level 1, which is just a disaster. And meanwhile, Loda, I mean, he only has the rank 1 Greevil's Greed, but he does have 3 Acid Spray, so watch out for even a potential sneaky Roche at some point from these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So we see, Loda right now just going for treads. As far as his build-up, I think Shadowblade is going to be the natural action to move forward with, and once he does get that up, movement speed from the Bloodlust and the Shadowblade is no joke. He'll be able to close on in and always get that concoction off on his target unless there's some big either Sprout LOS action going on or maybe a powerful disruption if they have sentries down. But it can be very difficult for Liquid to deal with, and they're going to have to respond very carefully once that Escalade is actually on the battlefield.
What do you think TC builds, by the way? Because Dragon Knight is a hero who right now a lot of teams play and everybody has their own preference. What do you think TC goes for here, and how's it going to be useful?
Dominator is pretty common in this position here for stacking up camps if you do go for Red Dragon. But actually, right now, S4 going on Korok, and he's going for the Primal Split. He will not get it off, though. Perfect timing from EGM Split Earth to finish it off there. They pick up a couple souls for his urn, and they pick up a very, very nice kill on that solo mid. But as far as Dragon Knight's items, plenty of different options. Like you said, everybody builds them. There was like this Chinese mentality a while back where you can just build pipe and build utility items on him, and that would be okay. But more so, I think he needs to directly contest the damage coming out from the Alchemist and the Spirit Bearer. That's kind of looking at more like a Halberd, or maybe, I don't know, just a better right-click potential.
Halberd? Yeah, I think he's got to bring the damage more than Halberd will help. With Halberd, they end up sort of just anemic on the damage. I feel like they need more coming out from TC. I wouldn't hate him going Shadowblade either. He's got pretty good stun initiation.
I guess so. Yeah, that's very true. That has a lot of possibilities, and it does force out that much more from the supports of Alliance, who are pretty much
drums first, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, starting off with drums, that's going to be good for them, but obviously that's just a build-up item, a transition to something bigger and better. We do see haste popped off from multiple smoked heroes. Liquid Bulba just kind of chilling out in the bottom lane, making them feel comfortable so that they can just move on in. Korok really going ahead of his team, has to slow it up a little bit, but once he closes on in, this is a big jungle going on to Acid Sprite controlling everything, and here comes that clap out on EGM. The Split Earth will be dodged. No, actually hits it right on himself. Good stun, but still gonna drop down himself. Loda on the run. Korok's haste has a few more seconds left, but here comes that Chemical Rage, allowing him to get some distance on Korok here, and he's gonna have to go under the tower. The clap and the Primal Split come on through, though, and with the Purge, they certainly have this kill. So committing a lot to it, but certainly they have turned things around a little bit for them. Mike taking a lot of hits. Ake doesn't get the Fire Blast. Beautiful Tornado timing coming out of Korok, and as such, they're going to do a little bit more damage to the Fire Panda, and then move in to push on this Tier 1 bot, which is pretty much already down. TC's Green Dragon form, Corrosive Breath, just burning it down quickly, and that's just very, very strong for Liquid.
I don't know whether this was just ingenious timing or lucky timing. Probably, let's go for ingenious, but they, just as Loda's going heavy into Acid Spray was about to pay off with some incredibly fast jungle farming, that's when Liquid move in and not only win the ensuing team fight, but also take the Tier 1 tower, making the jungle less safe to farm in the future. So almost very, very close to the perfect timing. Maybe like 10 seconds earlier would have been even more insane. But actually, come to think of it, like, he got a lot of farm and then immediately lost it because he died, so he cleared out a lot of creeps in that process. I don't know. It was really, really, really good timing. It will slow down this Alchemist a lot.
Yeah, stopping out the Alchemist stacks, making it so that they were able to put pressure on the tower, control the enemy jungle a little bit more. That forces out more Observer Wards from Alliance in that area. And, of course, that does make it so that they start getting momentum. They've been losing it so much, but now we see it shifting in their favor. Goldgraph and, to some extent, the experience as well. Bringing that down. We do see coming up just Magic Wand. TC kind of waiting a little bit to reveal what he has in store for us next. I mean, Armlet is still an option if he just wants raw right-click damage. And, yeah, there's plenty of different things that we could be seeing coming out of that. And Take a Brock does come on through from TC, but Ix Mike is actually ready to rumble. He is invisible. He starts with the Disruption, and now they can't Soul Catcher him under the Creep Wave, which actually means that they just wasted their invis. But still, they can right-click down. The Superior Bear will be dropped, and that's a nice little bounty for TC. So, finding that opportunity, is Bulldog resummoning, but still trying to hold the line against those two, while Chen just farms away. Fluff was having a lot of trouble. He, like you said, he was level 2 for an extended period of time. Now he has hit level 5. He has the multiple creeps available, but he is still delayed as far as that mechanism goes.
Yeah, the mecha's going to be... but honestly, this is still a perfectly reasonable timing. Chen, of course, one of the faster mechanism builders due to being an effective jungler. So they're going to be happy with this mecha timing, in my opinion. He's only about 500 off, which is really, I mean, it's fine. Considering S4 hasn't quite hit Blink yet either, not that his Blink is coming slowly, it's coming very, very quickly. But, yeah, actually, he will hit it pretty soon.
Sure.
S4 being really high level is a big deal, by the way, because he's going to have rank 2 RP. They're going to keep being able to kill Korok in the RP, and if they do that, Teal will struggle to win the fight that happens in.
Yeah, and the time he's synergizing just about when he's about to hit that Blink Dagger. He's only a few creep kills away, and he will have that in full. So when he hits level 11 and has that Blink Dagger up, Liquid have got to watch out. That is going to be the timing window they have. Alliance have always waited for a key moment before they start pushing out. Shadowblade coming out right now for Loda, and S4 about to have his Blink. That is absolutely the timing they want, and now they're going to start making things happen, where Liquid have to be aware of the oncoming threat, but it just is on them to see how they retaliate.
Absolutely. And we do have a gank
Oh,
going
Bulba
out.
bad
Bulba's
spot.
dead.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, they did break the Shadow Blade, so they don't get the easy right clicks, but with a multicast, he's guaranteed kill. So they do get that. Alchemist picks up a nice bit of cash for himself, and Bulba having a really rough game. He's sitting down level 8 right now, 1, 3, and 2.
Full board.
And, yeah, that's not even costing them the team fight. They just go for quick, easy picks.
Yeah. Cool ward here from Liquid. I like this. And actually, interesting that they have the 2 Hellbears here just to sabotage anybody trying to pass through this, as well as act as scouting for the Ancients, because of course they know now Loda got his very, very fast rank 4 Acid Spray. This makes Ancient farming kind of a breeze too, so they're just keeping an eye on that with this ward and with these things. But Loda gonna take the tier 2 as well. What was the other thing I want to talk about? Well, whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
Sure. Well, I mean, like you were saying, Acid Spray plus Empower, easy, easy Ancient farming. We do see Demonic Purge coming on AGM. He gets a stun off, but not stopping the fact that TC brings him down so darn quickly. And now we see all 5 on mid, 5-man Dota, bringing it down. Creep's gonna tank it up, and yeah, that's an easy tier 1 kill. Though there is pressure coming down on bottom. Loda's like, okay, I'll split push it. You have to commit detection to actually bring me down. So in this position here, trading tier 1 for some damage pressure down on the bottom tier 3.
Wrath did pretty respectable. Ooh, S4 was fishing. He doesn't quite get it. He tries to fish out somebody who was TPing and got the TP out before the skewer came. Brew, he's about 700 away from his blink, so that'll be very useful. I want to say that the Ogre stun is just so long range that it was going to be incredibly difficult for Bulba to actually escape, and that'll be true the whole way through. As long as they have Dust, even Shadow Blade is going to make it hard to actually get away from the Ogre Magi, especially with an Alchemist in tow.
Yeah, we were talking about the movement speed advantage of Team Liquid for a good portion of that last game. Like they had it for the first half of the map. They had the movement speed advantage, but right now I see that range of initiation and that just straight up movement speed in favor of Alliance. That Bloodlust is something that you cannot underrate, and increasing your movement speed by even 16% on heroes that are already super fast, like Lone Druid once he skills up his Rabid. It's going to be more and more difficult for Liquid to get out of tough spots. Pretty much as soon as they start losing the fight, they don't have a choice but to keep on going with it, because disengaging, sure, they're going to be running across the map and just pretty much steamrolled all over.
I like this. I want to talk about this Medallion of Courage on Shadow Demon. I really like this because Shadow Demon is a hero who by himself really doesn't need items except maybe a Force Staff, but it's not nearly as important for him to get the mobility as it is for heroes like Lina and Rubik. So you can go cute stuff like this Medallion of Courage, which actually buffs your team significantly just in terms of focusing down a single target, which will be very helpful for them. If you can even Medallion of Courage the bear and just beat it down with TC, that's very, very useful. So Medallion is a great pickup. We see a lot of Asian teams actually do the Medallion Shadow Demon. The most notable one I can think of at the moment is VG, who always get the Medallion on Shadow Demon, but I like that Mike's building it here. By the way, it is Shadow Blade for TC, I think.
Interesting. So yeah, picking that up, there's no reason for him to pick up anything else with that Claymore, so he's going to be in a pretty good spot there. As far as, yeah, getting into the action, it gives him respectable attack speed, attack damage, and it will give him that quick extra burst immediately. So I could definitely see its benefits, and of course, like you mentioned, he will be able to set up his very powerful stun with it. I'm just not sure if it changes currently what's going on with them. It forces out some detection from Alliance, but he still seems to be very far behind the Alchemist.
Detection, they were almost certainly going to go detection anyway, so yeah. I don't think it changes it that much. It does give them a good initiation tool, though. If they initiate on, like, S4 fishing again.
Trying to find opportunities there. They get the Demonic Purge after that disruption. They even entangle. Oh my goodness, he's going to drop down, and it's not going to be a Roche kill. It is picked up by Shadow Demon with its ultimate, just dishing out that damage right then. Perfect timing. Now they can go for the Tower Deny, and that's a pretty solid win for them. Locking down that Magnus, and are they going to look at Roche? They have so many creeps to work with here. The Nature's Call, there's the Holy Persuasion Chen creeps, they're going on in, and now that they have maxed out Drunken Haze, they're not going to take any damage from this Roche. Burning down quickly, Magnus has to buy back, TPing to the tier 2 mid lane, though it's going to take some time. They're going to fall back, unfortunately for them. I think they could have handled it before Magnus would have been a factor, but even a moment's hesitation, and it's too late, so...
yeah. It's kind of iffy. Even with Medallion, which the other thing I meant to mention about the Medallion is it speeds up your Roche a lot.
Yeah.
They don't have that much armor reduction here, so it's very useful for that. But it's fine to bait out the Magnus buyback and say that's the trade. Like, that's not that bad. If they get caught out here by Alliance, though, that would be difficult.
Yeah. Problem is, I mean, they could honestly, we could be seeing Alliance controlling this Rosh and just going for it themselves. I think Liquid have that idea because they're going on in. Korok looking for that blink initiation, swooping on through from behind, and they're going to go in forward only to find Korok from the low ground. Beautiful three-man clap. Goes for the primal split. Everybody coming on through. Now focusing down on Loda. He does get dusted out there. Looking for the damage. EGM, first target to drop now. Big skewer, big RP. TC and Bulba locked in the hand of God. A moment too late still. Their Bulba will drop. S4 taking some stuns. They throw the Spirit Bear up in the air. There is Loda taking some hits, but actually delivering far more. Just going back and forth here. We do see them all falling back. Korok, after breaking the Primal Split form, does finish off S4, but he can't do too much more. There is going to be that Bloodlust, and there is a Dragon Tail, and Tango Pro comes on through. Can they finish off Bulldog? So close, they get the kill. They clean this up. They take down S4, they take down Bulldog. EGM will respawn shortly, but Korok's not done. He gets the slow onto Ake, and the right clicks are there. They will finish him off as well, taking him down. Good movement from Korok. Really made the play there. And the Test of Fate to pull him out. No! EGM with the lightning. Maxon out. Finishes the job there. They're not going to let them go without a fight. Shadowblade up in 3 seconds. Does he have mana for both, though? No, he gets ensnared. Nice movement from Fluff. Blocking it off. There's the concoction. There's the Shadowblade. He will close the distance on IX Mike, and he doesn't have disruption. He will fall here, but just going to be sacrificing himself for the greater good. They destroyed that team fight, and they are okay with everything that played out after the fact.
Yeah, clever play by X Mike at the end there, very subtle, but the moving towards the unstable concoction rather than away. Can't underestimate how annoying that AoE is when it lands, because it's a tiny AoE, but it can make a huge difference. TL definitely taking the favorable part of that fight. The question is, are Alliance going to go for Rosh again?
Yeah, they're going to be looking for it pretty soon. They do have the Empower active, the Acid Spray, of course, reducing his armor. They're going to be able to burst this down pretty quickly, but it has healed up considerably. So going on in, Bloodlust's about to expire. They just have these Empowers up, and they're bursting it hard. Liquid,
they have RP.
The Liquid has vision on this. They know exactly where S4 is. The RP coming up in 5 seconds. The question is, how aggressive do they want? How much do they want this Roshan? And it doesn't look like it's enough. The multicast comes out, and they cannot fight this here. Defensively disrupts himself, but he's still going to fall. Coming on in, trying to skewer them all in the pit, but instead just picks off Korok. He goes for a big clap on everyone here inside the pit. The Aegis are picked up by the lone Druid, but here is Korok dropping fast. TC drops a big flame, and they actually finish off S4 for the reverse polarity. Stunning up Bulldog, they'll finish him off. Loda hits on 2, though. Fluff and TC stunned up by Les, stunned up by the Alchemist. Okay, going to be able to finish off Fluff here, and now it's TC all by himself. Big Wrath of Nature going across, but isn't enough. Loda Shadowblading away. Bulldog respawning, trying to TP, but there's Korok to finish the job. Going on through, they need just a little bit more. Blink in 8 seconds, and EGM is going to get dropped, I believe. There's that stun, missing unfortunately, and with EGM trapped in, there's no hope for him here. He gets locked, and they do claim yet another. So in the end, we look at the kills, we see 15 to 14 in favor of Liquid, so they get 1 extra kill on top of that. They did lose the Rosh kill, but the fact that they immediately snag the Aegis after it, and or not, they don't pick it up themselves, but they bring it down, means that I think they honestly just completely destroyed that fight.
I don't know if I'd characterize it that way.
I mean, it's close. Either way, it was a good exchange for both of them. Rosh does give you a considerable amount of golden experience, but it's rough. At least they didn't get slaughtered the way it looked like when IX Mike was getting initiated on.
Yeah. No, honestly, I thought that RP would decide that fight, and it didn't even happen. Now, the flip side is they still have RP.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it was a good fight when it comes down to it. I wouldn't say that they destroyed it, but definitely I think they earned some advantage from it.
Okay.
Again, Alliance want Loda to go a little later than he currently is, and currently he's being pulled into all of these fights. They'll probably take the tier 2 here. I don't see, unless a great RP comes through. And Snare's really on point from Fluff. His Chen has been excellent this game, right from the opening moments. He actually gets the tower destroy versus the bear, which is formidable.
Yeah, definitely. There were a lot of right clicks going in from both sides, but Chen able to get that last one there, really helping out their team. They are going to get actually a gold advantage for, I mean, they had some for the previously good fight, but in this situation here, Liquid needs every little bit that they can get. So they're feeling pretty confident about that tower kill, but they don't want to get too cocky. In this position here, they're farming up the enemy's jungle, and I could easily see them in a position where they can get counter-initiated on. We do see another Great to Die coming out from Bulba here. He does get the top tier 1.
That's, yeah, really close. I mean, saving the tier 1 from giving them another tower kill, really good. And I gotta say, Korok, even though he is like negative KDA, so to speak, like he's 4 and 5, he was a huge factor in those last two fights, especially the one in which he jumped in, got the three-man clap, and popped off Primal Split. Like I said, if he just gets RP'd and dies before he splits, that's a fight Liquid can't win. But the two fights, even the one in which he didn't have Primal Split at all, he was pretty consequential.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't blink into that pit. He actually got skewered on through, but that was Magnus's mistake. That was S4 using his blink to try to pull somebody in to a situation that they just couldn't live through. And in all technicality, he couldn't. He did have to buy back, but he got an amazing initiation, got of course, all the vision they needed inside the camp, and along with that, just got a beautiful clap off, and everybody was able to follow up very, very nicely. So good maneuver from them, taking a fight that would have been, by all means, was very difficult to take. Korok gets defensively disrupted. IX-Mike, the only one to get caught by that RP. Korok turning around with a Primal Split here, and there is S4 incinerated by the Dragon. Now we see they're going to be able to bring down EGM with a good Dispel Magic coming out of the Wind Panda, and the elements are at work here. Bulba does get stunned out, but in the end, EGM will fall. So they do get two pickoffs for absolutely just the IX-Mike, and I think they'll just walk away with that.
Yeah, because, ooh, Fluff.
Fluff, yeah, getting entangled here. He's going to get dropped down by the stun. Luckily, Korok doesn't get snagged by it, is able to blink away. But, of course, Fluff getting locked in place. Not exactly where he wanted to be. Nevertheless, he's in a position where the mechanism is already up, and gold is not as much of a factor for that hero.
A perfectly reasonable trade for Liquid. Actually, a good trade, getting S4. And that fight comes down single-handedly to IX-Mike. Popping off the defensive disruption on Brewmaster, causing the RP to miss. If last game we saw S4 outsmarting IX-Mike in the end, we just saw IX-Mike completely outsmarting S4.
Yeah, really good timing from him, and that defensive disruption set it up so he could ulti out and actually get some kills on the board, so really good for them. In this position, though, Loda keeps on farming away. Current net worth is 10.8k, a little bit ahead of that Dragonite, and of course they have the Lone Druid to back them up, albeit Admiral Bulldog only has, 5,600 net worth according to this, but still, he is going to be able to contribute more so in the late game. The Bear itself is going to have a Basher, and of course it has the Armlet already.
His net worth is 7,200.
Okay, yeah, there was a weird shift. I saw it a lot higher than it was supposed to be, and then it dropped down. So maybe Valve hasn't fixed the fact that couriers don't give value or something, or something about bear transfers. Either way, we do see S4 up on the high ground, looking for a great opportunity. The RP, 3 seconds, time ticking away, going on in, not yet. Waiting for the skewer opportunity where he can bring two together, just mash them up and lock them down. But it's not their moment.
Magnus hasn't been that huge this game, and I think we're seeing a little bit of hesitation now from S4 because he has been stymied a bit. Not anywhere near being solved, but at least stymied.
Yeah, and of course IX-Mike, if he goes for an RP on one, IX-Mike can pretty much make that useless. It's like it's a big nuke, and then he's just invulnerable for that time period anyways. So that wouldn't be as big of a factor. Fortification comes on through, but Loda's right clicks is going to make it drop so darn quickly. But as soon as the tier 2 falls, they walk away. They know Bulba's been split pushing, and they don't want to let him get away with too much down here. Already chipping away, taking almost half the tier 3's HP away. And that is considerable. They are going to be able to fight it down, but actually Korok coming in on EGM, bursting down. They got at least one stock, lock him in place, and they do pop the Dragon Tail to finish it off as well. Concoction already blown from Loda. He's going to run for the hills right here, popping off the Shadow Blade, and he will be able to get on out, but, trying to Sprout Sentry. That would have been so good if it worked. But, unfortunately for them, the Shadow Blade just a little bit too quick. Either way, Liquid claiming a lot of long-term tower damage.
That and BKB is done on TC. This lets him really, really get in. There's little that they can do about this other than the RP.
Yeah, exactly. They have to have... It's all on S4 in this position here. He does have Empower going out on just about everybody that needs it. But Loda does get stunned out, at least for the moment. They are just using all these Chen creeps to make it happen, but at least they do get the deny. So, a little bit of a spitting in the face of Team Liquid, because they've been denying half their towers, whereas Alliance have been kind of failing to accomplish this. So finally getting a little bit of a break there.
Yeah, and killing off Chen creeps is not to be underestimated. This means that Chen has to go and build up an entirely new set of creeps, and he had almost the ideal set there. So it's going to be some time before Chen becomes a threat again. So definitely very good work by them there. The only question is, right now, it just seems like Alliance are not favored in these engagements, and they need to find something that will actually turn it. And I don't know if just massive Alchemist farm is that thing. It'll certainly help. But they thought they had the timing with the Cuirass. Like, they immediately just ran in, and all they got for it is, like, a tower and half their bottom tier 3 down. I would like to see Loda have more TP scrolls, too.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously would allow him to be a little bit more active on the map. But the Salkaros, I mean, of course, wherever he is, he's going to make an impact. And
Yes.
that's going to be the big thing there. We actually see him immediately TPing up to the top, but now he is out of his scroll. And just going to be doing a little bit of counter push with the acid spray. Bulba is kind of a nuisance right now. Continuously pushing out. He did a lot of damage on bottom, and now kind of doing the same thing conversely on top. Moving in, he
Right.
will have that Scythe of Ice in, what?
Smoke.
A decent amount of
They're
time. 1400
baiting.
gold. They
They're
go for
baiting.
Loda. They bring it down. Very, very good maneuver there. Korok's in the fray, but the RP lands before the primal split. The Hand of God will not save him. Instead, he has to buy back, jumping back on in. Damage everywhere. TC, a gigantic dragon on the front lines where Bulba is getting right-clicked down by Bulldog and previously the Alchemist. Now Bulba is able to Shadow Blade away, just barely gets sent back home by the Test of Faith. Loda closing on in. Doesn't have the concoction yet, though, and TC gets the stun. Dropping down hard. Loda is taking a ton of damage, but there's a triple multi bringing down Ix Mike. Loda is dropping low, 300 HP, but still managing to survive. They bring down the Lone Druid. Now looking at Ake, trying to avoid. There's the shockwave. There's the right click. Is it enough? No, Ake will get away. Not so fortunate for Loda, hiding out in the trees and getting finished off there. Good movement, good double kill for Nature's Prophet, who immediately after getting Test of Faith home, started channeling that teleport back to the front lines.
That Brewmaster buyback.
Yeah, really,
that
really
they
big.
they baited, and Alliance probably thought that they were quite clever for the first half of that fight, completely baiting Liquid into initiating onto Loda, thinking that Loda was making a mistake, which of course he wasn't. He was baiting them in, and they take down Korok, and from that point it felt to them, I'm sure, like they were going to win. But the buyback and the immediate, just like instantaneous buyback, and he runs pell-mell back into the fight. They don't have a Keeper of the Light, but it was enough for him to get back in and tilt the fight completely in TL's favor.
So damage coming out in this tier 3, dropping down below 300 HP, or just above it. Either way, they have done some big hits here. Nothing permanent. They still haven't locked down either tier 3, but Bulba's trying to make that story change a little bit. He has his Scythe. He's going in towards that bot lane, and just a single wave of the Nature's Prophet's Treants can do a lot of right-click damage to this, bringing the tower down to critical HP levels. Of course, you don't want to have to deny it in any circumstance, but in this position here, the Prophet's just going to make things harder and harder for them to push on out without worrying about how their base is going to suffer.
I think it's extremely important for Alliance to maintain their Raxes, even more important than it is usually for teams to maintain their Raxes. It's always almost the most important thing in the game, but it's even more important for them, and the reason is Alk still needs to find some farm. When you look at Alchemist's net worth in a net worth graph, it's deceptive because his baseline is less effective than most heroes. He needs to have a higher net worth to have the advantage. And here, Loda's net worth advantage is incredibly diaphanous, A, and there's
Wow.
two Team Liquid heroes with the same net worth, B.
That is insane. What Ix Mike was in the riskiest position he could have possibly been.
Yeah.
They actually do get the sentry off on his ward, but holy crap, the bear went on the high ground, just looked above the steps.
Rosh is dead.
And, yeah, Rosh, of course. He'd been working on it for a little while. Bringing it down very quickly. Alchemist does get the Aegis here. But, yeah, Ix Mike was in a position warding, and the exact placement of where he was made it so the bear didn't have line of sight. It could have been so disastrous for him. But they do still, of course, lose the Rosh and lose a little bit of map control with the sentry wards that did get placed immediately after the fact. But, I mean, it could have been worse if they lost more heroes. If they tried to fight in take an engagement that they would have just gotten obliterated, especially the supports, losing ground really, really quickly, they would have been scrambling. Instead, they get to kind of reinforce, just group up together, smoke it up, and try to actually go for a pick-off, possibly on the Ancients here.
Yeah, I mean, good sneak for the Rosh there. And if Liquid fight at the Ancients, this could be very...
Oh, there it is.
difficult.
Bulldog is trying to farm it up. Does get locked down. That's a blue dragon with the BKB active to get out of the entangle. There's the ensnare. There's an RP locking down, but the Primal Split dodges it out. S4 immediately gets out of there with the Force Staff, but the remainder are going to take a lot of hits here. Ake is going to TP away. Loda is the one that's kind of being left behind. He's being left for dead here. He's all by himself. Tries to do what he can, but the disables are there. The lockdown from Fluff, and they're going to finish off Loda here. S4 skewers on away TC, but the Aegis has already popped, and now S4 is just getting slowed on down. Force staffed away once more. They're going to get the Dragon Tail, though, and finish the job. Back up on the high ground. Loda locked in place. Do they have any detection? It looks like he will get out with his second life, but still taken away. Admiral Bulldog locking him down, and S4 to boot. So they're going to go push in pretty hardcore into the one lane they haven't already harassed on down.
Yeah, I don't know. Big fight for TL.
Good shift in my opinion. Going into its top tower is exactly what they should have been doing. They go for the fortification here. TC moves on up. Easy right clicks to finish off the tier 1. But here's Loda coming on in. Concoction hits on Korok and TC. But the nice scythe coming out from Bulba. Locking it down. Ake with the multicast though. Finishes off TC. And they cannot hold without their dragon. EGM doing a lot of damage here. Korok taking so many hits. Ghost Scepter comes out. They have to leave Korok behind. He gets locked in place. Fluff and stuff is probably going to be dropped as well. He doesn't have his TP scroll, and they have pretty much a full army right behind him. So he's just going to try to delay as long as possible, but he will fall in the end. Buys the Geometry Sight with some extra cash. So good movement there.
Nice Split Earth, by the way, by EGM. They didn't need it for the kill, but it's certainly stylish.
Sure enough.
And this
Extra flare.
Leshrac did a lot of damage in that fight. The Ghost Scepter plus what looks like... I don't know if it's going to be Aghanim Scepter or Bloodstone, but I feel like maybe Ags just for the damage? I don't know. And I would love to see BKB on Loda, too. He's going to go Heart instead, which is also a ton of survivability. I like that as well. So either way, a survivability item was the correct next choice. And they did, they punished TL a little bit, their reach exceeding their grasp, just a tad.
Yeah, they went in really hardcore. They took the tier 3, but over and over, and actually we do see Radiant Core getting picked off, and that was Bulba getting a really nice global teleport off, because they did still have this ward on the Ancients, so good maneuver by him. They don't lose any items, but it's a nice pick nevertheless. Going on through there, popping the fortification off on this tier 3 in the mid, and chewing on through really quickly. The Demolish passive doing work, but they don't want to commit 5v5 just yet until S4 feels comfortable about how they're going to proceed. They just can't do it. So in this position here, falling back, swooping on through, they're going to look for a flank to gank.
Maybe if the Chemical Rage wasn't about to expire, and it did expire during the fortification, they could have kept going.
Actually, what is this position? Korok immediately hopping. His Primal Split does get one stun off on Ake. They are going to have to fight here using that ultimate. They don't have much of a choice, but the Force Staffs actually pulling them out to a point where they can't really engage. Ix Mike getting locked down hard by Loda, but it's not going to be enough right here. The Soul Catcher comes on out, and Loda taking a lot of hits, dueling it out. Carry versus carry, TC versus Loda, and he's taking too many hits. RP, though, Fluff and stuff, and TC getting locked down hard. The Concoction charging will be out on the Dragon, but the Dragon Tail, in turn, TC rocking away, but he does drop in the end. The gem's still up on Ake, so the Shadow Blade doesn't get him out. Korok is entangled up, trying to go on the run, just get a Drunken Haze out on the bear, but instead gets bashed, and now Ake taking a lot of right clicks. Looks like Korok might fall, but Admiral Bulldog needs a single entangle, and it's not happening yet. So instead, both of them falling back, neither one dying, and now they're actually just going to get a quick, easy kill on the bear. Bulba, not done yet. He's looking for a teleport, looking at the movement of Ake, almost out, but he does get away with a sliver of HP, as does Admiral Bulldog there.
Forget Entangle, all he needed to do was hit with the bear.
Yeah.
With a 75% miss chance. That bear needs an MKB, pronto.
Exactly. Very frustrating for him. He does have the Demon Edge. As far as the amount of cash, he still needs 3,000, so they are in a very frustrating position. And until that comes on through, and you don't have to worry about the evasion, that Spirit Bear is going to have a hard time locking anybody down. So that works really well when you want a Drunken Haze to avoid your tower getting mauled on, and the same thing in the middle of a fight.
Sorry, I was refreshing a little bit. It's been a while. I don't know. Who would you say has the edge right now? I still feel like TL has a little bit of the edge in this game, and it's because this Alchemist is still not convincingly above the fray. And Lone Druid, of course, also not really convincingly above the fray. My Dota crashed, by the way, but I'll be back in a sec.
Sure, no problem. So the Monkey King bar will be coming out soon for Admiral Bulldog's bear. That'll help them a ton. Along with that, Alchemist does have that heart, so he's very active. But we actually see a pickup on Fluff, so he's going to be dropped down very quickly. And as such, they just one person to be caught out. I mean, they can't really afford to just randomly lose one person because now they go on the tower here. Drunken Haze immediately, but he's still hitting quite a bit. And with the Edict damage, they should be able to take the tier 3. The question is the follow-up. Lone Druid has a resummon, so they're willing to risk this first bear. Bulba takes the last hit. Loda gets disrupted, and there's the Demonic Purge. There's the Primal Split. TC coming on in. Gets a stun off on EGM as well, doing so much damage. Throwing up the Ogre in the air. They bring down the other one. Magi does fall. Now looking at Bulldog. He cannot actually do it with the bear up on top of him, but Loda gets stunned out. Right-clicking right on top of him, but Loda actually... There's an Entangle proc on TC. Loda can right-click away right here, doing so much damage. They get the defensive disruption, but is it enough to keep him alive? No! He falls in the end. Charging up. Needs to throw the Concoction. Lands it on top of Korok here, and now the buybacks are forced. They don't have one for TC. He's just... actually, I think they do... No. Okay, it's actually right this time, the graph is. But either way, a buyback from Ix Mike, trying to force them out. Just needs a lot of Shadow Poison and a little luck, but right now Loda has too much more going on. The RP connecting on 3. S4's been saving it. There's the Gagaction to follow it up, and that's a triple kill for EGM all at once. Simultaneous triple, and that guarantees these racks. And honestly, they can pressure the other lanes. They're already moving on down to the bottom tier 3 tower. With that ultimate still up for Alchemist, they're going to be able to deliver so much hurt here.
Blaze. I don't know, man. I think they might have gotten it.
This could be a 3-0 swing for our grand final. Just so much work, but S4 coming in with that RP. Now with the Blink Skewer on Bulba, they just can't retaliate. TC will be up, but all by himself. Korok, no Primal Split for a full minute. And it looks like this might be it. I mean, they are going to be having to defend their racks up top, but they've taken 2 full lanes and not lost a single one. They're in a great position here. You see the goal graph shooting right back up in their favor, and so, I mean, well earned. In that game, in that fight, they were able to just accomplish so much with some amazing reverse polarities. S4 doing work once more.
Yeah, in the end, even though he had a quiet beginning, that RP was really, really big, and it's the combo. Like I said, that unstable concoction, it has a tiny radius, but when it hits on your full stack, you are going to be cursing its name. Ever since that buff, Alchemist has just gotten way more legit. And then the splitter to finish it off, that is just like an infinite stun, basically. It's so, so long. And Liquid, they were hanging on until that moment, and then that's when it sort of just fell out of their grasp completely. It costs 4 Raxes, and once again, their back is a little bit to the wall, but this is what it looked like in one game that in recent memory, and they still managed to pull it out with a test of faith. So
sure,
they're close to being able to high ground themselves. This game is...
The one big difference I gotta say, comparing that, you were talking about the Luna forcing the high ground. The one big thing is their carry had very little farm. Illidan on the Weaver had almost nothing. Comparing that now to the Alchemist, who has his AC Heart, he can pick up a Monkey King bar shortly, and the Spirit Bear, who can dish out a ton of single target damage himself, now has his Monkey King bar up. I really, really think the shoe's on the other foot, and Liquid have a very, very limited timing window to even try to contest this.
This chase. Oh, they guessed wrong. They went the wrong way. I think Liquid escape here, but this could have been incredibly dangerous. No, I agree with you 100%. I think it's very, very tough for Liquid. They're on the razor's edge of being eliminated and taking second place, and it might happen here. We'll have to see how this goes.
This fight gonna break down very, very quickly. Coming on through the Shadow Blade, the Gagaction throws it onto 2. Fluff and Mike, the 2 supports, dropping quickly. Fluff will be disrupted, though, and will be able to survive the Hand of God. Here comes TC, big damage, big cleave, coming on through with the reverse polarity, locking them down. They deliver so much pain to everyone else. Chen, Shadow Demon, and the Brewmaster all falling. And now they can clean it up for a full 5-man team wipe, and even EGM survives. They call it here. Good game, well played. Alliance, take it. They are the Grand Finals champions for TPL Season 4. Well played, Alliance.
EGM survived because of Ghost Scepter. That's all I'm saying about this game. No, but my God, two games that basically reflect, I think, what we thought going in, which is that Team Liquid riding high, playing insanely well, and Alliance, I don't know what percentage I'd call it, but just that tiny bit of extra team fight just wins the critical engagements in both games, tipping the scales of 2 close games. Incredible fight from both teams.
Yeah, I like the Admiral Bulldog shout out there. Shout out to the Harpy Stormcatcher at when he was level 1. That creep did work, bringing down Bulldog, making him have a frustrating time. But no, that's very, very small. It's trying to drop in the bucket of what came down in this game. Big clash. Big clash in this situation. Maybe not the epic thing that was Game 3 of the previous series, but certainly a well-deserved victory coming out with some great S4 plays. Loda playing that Alchemist to a T, and my goodness, they just did amazing work in this game here.
Absolutely. I think both teams, if there was any doubt whatsoever that both these teams richly deserve, any of these teams, frankly, richly deserve their TI3 invites, I think it's got to be dispelled by just how incredibly high level, just the sheer number of clever or even like brilliant or well-placed or well-timed plays made by both of these teams. I don't know. Even though it ends up being a 3-0 score line, those 2 games went, like, could have tipped either way trivially easily, in my opinion.
Up in the top right corner, we have Ogre Magi in the club. Everybody jumping on around in towards the enemy fountain there in happy celebration for their victory there. So as an end result, we have a $5,000 winner, Team Alliance, and then of course the $3,000 second prize goes to Team Liquid there. Awesome stuff. What we're going to be looking at next is a interview with Alliance. I'm not sure if we'll do multiple individuals or one member. It doesn't really matter too much, but we'll be getting one in just a little bit there. So awesome game and awesome series. Of course, Alliance just take it, sweep it away. A full shutout of 3-0 with that one game advantage immediately and following it up with two amazing games. Do you have any other closing thoughts on the match?
On the match or on the entire season? Because Blaze, it's over. This has been a long road with a ton of amazing games, some innovative strategies. It's been a huge season, and the playoffs, the first day the games weren't that close, and then all of a sudden they got pretty close. I don't know. I got a lot to say, I feel like. I don't know. I want to thank you. This was a great opportunity. This fantastic season overall. I'm glad I got to stand in. Thanks to TPL for organizing all this. I mean, making a fantastic tournament with just incredible games to close it out. The last several games all in a row just being fantastically high quality. We got to shout out the teams. I mean, Alliance, Team Liquid, Virtus.pro, Fnatic, all the teams that didn't make the playoffs like Empire, Kaipi, Maus, Roxkiss, Dignitas, AL. Even the teams that sort of had to leave the season midway through. Pain, 3D Clan. I don't know, man. Huge performance by everybody. Really impressive. It was a fantastic season. I'm glad I got to be a part of it. Thank you. I don't know. Thanks, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you said it. It's really all about everything that's set up here. The Premier League making the tournament work out here. The prize pool going to have bigger and better things coming in for Season 5 coming up. That's going to be a completely different format, but we have some things in store for you there, so you guys can stay tuned for that. And along with that, of course, just thank you viewers individually for tuning on in. And you guys are the ones that make it possible. You guys are the ones that make Dota 2 as amazing as it is. Because as awesome as these teams are, without you guys as fans, there's no way that they could get to the position that they are now. Practicing day in and day out and just bringing you guys some awesome Dota. So I'm very glad to be a part of it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this entire season here. That is just about it. Closing on through, we will be looking at that interview, as I mentioned. It's Ask the Pros, of course, but my oh my, was it an awesome series, awesome season. Get a little sentimental about it because it has been a long road here, but closing on through, awesome Dota.
No, absolutely. Fantastic Dota. And I don't think I'm staying on for the interview, so probably my sign-off here.